Now, here's the question we're answering today. Can I get a do-over? In golf, they say, can I get a mulligan? In other words, I blew that completely. My name is Joe Barlow. This is the JBM Daily Show. Thank you for joining us. We're here with my friend Larry Bettag. Larry, you wrote a book called No Rewind.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would be nice if there was a case for a rewind, but
Okay,
there
go
is
ahead.
no replay button.
So, what's up with this book? Why'd you write this? What is the message you're
So,
trying to
you
get
know
across?
what? The whole book, there's 10 chapters. One's on faith, one's on persistence, one's on vision. But the whole thing is this. I'm going to go into David in a minute, but I don't know if you've heard of a woman by the name of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She wrote a book called On Death and Dying. And in that book,
Wow.
On Death and Dying, she studied all these people who had died and got the paddles and brought back to life.
Right.
And so she interviewed them about their experience, and about 1/3 of those people said that God rewound their life from the moment of birth to the moment of death, and then rewound the life again and said, but this is how I had intended for you to live it. And they said 100% of the people, when they had those contrasts, said they wish they would have lived the life that God had intended for them. Whether it was atheists, agnostics, Muslims, Jews, Christians, whatever, they all wish that they would have lived a life parallel. So there is no rewind. But this book, I hope, will get people to wake up and say, look forward. But anyways, there's a chapter in my book on David, and David is about kind of forgiveness, because I think a lot of reasons why people can't move from this point forward is because they hang themselves in the sins of the past. So you think about it with David. Everyone knows the story, but I'm going to kind of do it in my terms a little bit.
Go ahead.
So David, he's the king, and when he's supposed to be off at war, he's not. He's hanging out, and 2 roofs over, he sees Bathsheba skinny dipping and hanging out, and he's got his binoculars out there checking her out, and then he gets his buddies to shuttle her on in, and he takes him up to see the fish tank. The next thing you know, he's kind of hitting it with Bathsheba. And anyway, she turns out to be pregnant, and I think TMZ's on the scene about ready to go ahead and break the story.
Break the story.
And so he wants to go ahead and have the husband sleep with Bathsheba, but he's faithful to him, and he won't do that. And he gets really frustrated. So what's he do? He ends up doing the most manly thing someone who's sinned does. He says, I'm going to kill the husband. So he does. He kills the husband by putting him on the front line and pulling him back, and all the story. Well, anyways, long story short, you got this king. He's unfaithful to his wife. He then murders the husband. And so this prophet comes and says, hey, dude, God tell you, you're going to lose your son. And, here's the sin you did, and you're going to lose him. And so David humbles himself before God and begs to rewind his life, to have a mulligan, a do-over. And God says, sorry, I love you, but I'm not going back. And the son's born. He hears the servants, they're whispering, and he says, well, what's the deal? He says, your son's dead. And he gets up. And this is the thing that I think is most magnificent, is he says, he puts on his finest robes and his oil, and they said, we thought you were going to go in the morning. He's like, no, what's done is done. And he's like, I can't go back. I can't undo the thing. It's time to go ahead and move on. And there's no rewind. And I was thinking about this to myself, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Here's a guy who really, I've created a lot of sins in my life. In fact, I tell people I have a PhD in sinning. And I'm sure that you've done a few sins in your life as well, too. But
I only got my master's.
you and I need to hang out more. But you know what? I'm hanging myself with sins that I really wish that I hadn't done. And here's this guy.
Yeah.
He was repentant. And if I'm going to go back, if I'm going to move forward, I can't look back. Then I got to release this. And the thing that I like about it is God says David's a man after my own heart. And he really was a man after my own heart, not because of the sinning, but because of the heart. But I think that what we as men do, we think we need to have, and women, or whoever, we think we need to be perfect. And the only people that are perfect are those that are dead, and they're with Christ. Because other than that, and so we have this high standard. And so at the end of the day, for us to move forward, we have to let go of ourselves. But the sins of the past, but a great precedent has already been created by David, who did a lot worse. In my mind, if you're going to judge sins on a scale of 1 to 10, he was worse than me. He let go, and I'm not. Am I smarter than God? I'm really not.
This is very good. So here, the first day we talked about lining back up with your DNA.
You bet.
And here we're talking about letting go of the sins of the past,
You
as you
bet.
say, that they're holding on to you. You don't want to. Don't let that continue to be a picture that drives you.
You bet. If he can forgive himself for the atrocities, we'll say, that he did,
Yeah, for sure.
then why can't we forgive ourselves? And the biggest thing that I see with a lot of people is that I think they're more arrogant, that they need to punish themselves and hang on to this stuff when God's like, no. And so getting back to the start of this, we talked about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And, going back, looking at the life that you've lived versus the one you're supposed to be. So my whole point in the whole book, so you asked how it came about, the DNA. We need to forgive ourselves for the crap that happened.
Yeah.
Because we're going to keep doing it anyways. And hopefully less and less.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't waste your tomorrow. And don't think there's a carte blanche, because at the end of the day, whether this is true or not, I haven't died, I've been resuscitated, so I don't know. But if this does happen, I want to say like everybody else, not only do I wish I would have lived the life that God wanted me to live, I actually lived it. So don't waste your tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've got this, you can see like two videotapes, one string in this way and one string in this way. All we're trying to do is let's get on God's plan.
Yeah.
What he already wrote for our life.
You bet.
So that's what happened with these people who had died. And God showed them how you did live, how you should have lived.
Right.
What I actually had planned for you. You know what I was thinking one day? I don't want to get before the throne and God say, hey, how did that business go that I had you start? What business? Remember, it was in the plan. Oh, Lord, I never knew about that. Son, you never came to me.
Right.
I don't want to get there.
No, I don't want to.
It's all about, for me, I love God so much. I really just want to please him. That's my kind of.
So let me tell you my final real quick thought is that I think where the richest places in the entire world are?
Oh,
You know where that is?
the graveyard.
Graveyards, because all the dreams, all the inventions, all the everything are buried there. And I want to go buried with nothing. I want all left behind.
Okay, we got to talk more about that.
Okay.
Hey, friends, listen. If you would share this video with other friends, let people know about this. Get this word out. Help us get this word out. I'm sure that what we've talked about today has impacted you. I'm sure you can think of one person who you need to share that with. Even if you share it on your Facebook page, go for it. You're going to help people. And also, if you could use the hashtag that we came up with, it's JBM Daily.
You bet.
And, yeah, it's a good one. But listen, we got more. We'll see you tomorrow.